Every year, Samsung releases their two flagship tier smartphones, the Galaxy S and the Galaxy Note. But what would happen if Samsung stopped releasing those two? What if those two became one? So I bet you're asking, why would they do that anyways? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. Let's check it out. Alrighty folks, so to talk about why this is even on our radar, notable tech tipster Evan Blass, of whom I cannot follow on Twitter at the moment, claims that Samsung is thinking about combining the Galaxy S lineup and the Note lineup. And it could take effect as soon as next year, depending on how well the Galaxy Fold does. More on that later. Samsung internally has been mulling this idea for at least a year and a half already. Plus, the idea of naming the next phones to them, the Galaxy S11 and the Galaxy Note 11, seems kind of long-winded. So it'll most likely just be called the Galaxy One. This new lineup will incorporate traits from both devices, which basically means a better Galaxy S with a built-in stylus. Okay, so let's look at why Samsung would want to do this in the first place, and personally why I think they should. At this point in time, after all the iterations of the Galaxy S and Note, those two devices are becoming seriously similar now. Secondly, this could be an opportune area for Samsung to reduce its costs and increase efficiencies for the Korean company. And thirdly is the Galaxy Fold. It may actually be the coffin that breaks the camel's back. Nail. Metaphor. Okay, so we're being honest with ourselves here. There hasn't really been much of a difference between the Galaxy S and the Note lineup for quite some time now. Back in ye old days, there used to be a general consensus that the Galaxy Note was more oriented, or at least marketed to, the professional type. Those that could take advantage of the larger screen real estate to get work done. And when things got hot and heavy, you take out that S Pen to sign documents and stuff. The Galaxy S, on the other hand, was more of the mass market consumer phone, probably most akin to what an iPhone is. Also comparatively, since it came out earlier in the year, it would have all the new cutting edge tech that would slowly make its way to the Note series. Lately, I'd say probably since the S8 and the Note 8, they've been converging towards each other, the two phones. And some of the only main differences now is that the Note has an S Pen. I mean, they're very similar in size, both come with pretty much the same camera, and have large batteries that are again closer than they are apart. And now even share a punch hole design for the cameras, albeit in different places on the display. There's no reason to put a brake on this convergence now, and I dare to say just jump straight into it. Just do it already. Up next is the argument of efficiency and economies of scale. Super hot topic, right? By consolidating internally and turning two overhead departments in their smartphone divisions into one, they could find some more efficiencies here and there, as well as reduce internal costs. A bunch of small things eventually do add up, honestly. Plus, with increased pressure on both the top and bottom end by Apple and new Chinese manufacturers who are really taking great strides in the smartphone place, Samsung needs to do whatever it can in order to repivot itself. This also allows Samsung to focus more intensely into producing a device that would meet the broadest consumer market. In terms of economics, this is a no-brainer. However, whether it translates to success or not, that's still up in the air. One issue of accidentally producing a phone that's a jack of all trades is that you end up making a turkey. One that's good in a lot of things but isn't really great in any of them. Hopefully Samsung can avoid this. Lastly, and perhaps one of the most crucial points to point out, is that the Galaxy Fold exists, and Samsung has some pretty big ambitions for it, and they should. Samsung potentially has the idea that the Galaxy Fold could easily take up the slot vacated by the Note series as the high-end statement device that's cutting edge and perhaps a great productivity device as well. Plus, it'll be pretty easy for any layman to discern between the two. I mean, the difference between the Note and the S is kind of, like I said, hard to tell at this point. But for the potential new Galaxy One and Galaxy Fold, well, one practically folds. Well, not practically, one actually folds. Samsung is eyeing closely how well the Fold does in terms of sales and market reaction. Of course, given the current price of the Galaxy Fold, first gen, Samsung shouldn't look too hard into what the sales data is, but they should do focus groups to see whether or not people will buy it and see what price they're comfortable with, as well as seeing what the market reaction is. Are people intrigued? Or do they even care? And of course, with speculation already that the next gen Galaxy Fold will be thinner and cheaper, which is a must for it to succeed in the future, it looks like there's a bright future for the Galaxy Fold and foldables in general. I mean, cost alone is probably the biggest factor prohibiting someone from even getting the first gen Galaxy Fold. Samsung has to find the right pricing spot for it. They know it has to be more than a flagship, but it can't quite cost as much as two flagship phones. It has to be somewhere in between. maybe a flagship and a half, so like 1,500, 1,400. And with every dollar cheaper that the second generation Galaxy Fold could be, it introduces more consumers who would buy it. Now, personal take here, I think the Galaxy Fold is a great device. I'm super interested in it, and I think it has a great future ahead. And for Samsung, the Galaxy Fold makes sense, especially as a productivity device as well. And of course, if Samsung is looking for a good replacement for the Note, the Fold just makes a ton of sense. It could be a great productivity device as well as a media streaming powerhouse. When you need to get work done, you open up your Fold and then you just go away on it, because it's inarguable that a larger display just makes you more productive. And then you want to chill? Just sit back on the couch, open your Fold, and watch Netflix or YouTube. Throw in S Pen support and Samsung DeX, and all of a sudden you have a device that could be a great contender for being the sole product you need. And wasn't that the true purpose of the Note when it first came out and its subsequent iterations? It was supposed to be the one device that could do it all, the best of the best. And if the Galaxy Note does pull a Captain America at the end of Endgame and just retires away, it should know that the Galaxy Fold is ready to take up the mantle, to be that new Halo device. Well, that's all folks. Thanks so much for watching What the Tech. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and comment what do you personally think about getting rid of the Galaxy S and Note and conversion into one new product. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think they should have done this a while ago? Yes, no, maybe so? I'd love to know. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Peace.